Guys, you have some big news related to Nintendo. So yeah, we're going to get into the first one, and then we're getting into the Splatoon free sales. But yeah, Nintendo Direct, there is a Nintendo Direct. Your eyes are not deceiving you. Your eyes are not lying to you. Nintendo is actually putting out a Nintendo Direct tomorrow, and it is confirmed, which means there will probably be some leaks later today for a Nintendo Direct for tomorrow as well. It'll be mostly focused on games coming this winter and basically games coming out at the end of the year and games coming out beginning of next year. Basically probably until like March as well. It's also 40 minutes long, and it's gonna probably and yeah, there will probably be the rumored Zelda remakes, the rumored Metroid Prime Trilogy remaster or Metroid Prime remaster, and it won't be broadcasted everywhere as well. Okay, it won't be broadcasted everywhere. It'll be of course broadcasted in America and Japan, but it will not be broadcasted in certain countries as well. So if you've been hoping for it to be broadcasted in this area, okay, and yeah, Pokemon Scarlet Violet will not be in the. I don't think Pokemon Scarlet Violet will be mentioned in the direct, but in the UK they will not be streaming it. But of course, you can just watch it from Nintendo YouTube. This normal Nintendo YouTube, but it won't be on the UK time, basically. But now let's get to Splatoon. Okay, people say, "Oh, Splatoon is not part of Nintendo's big franchises." People told me, "Oh, but Splatoon isn't that big. Splatoon isn't that large. It's not one of Nintendo's big franchises." And people always take it put Nintendo's big three. Yeah, Nintendo's big three is Mario, Zelda, and Pokemon. Okay, maybe you can entertain Zelda with Animal Crossing at this point, because in terms of sales, because Pokemon each game sells 10 million plus. Mario is Mario. Mario game is 10 million plus, and Animal Crossing is 10 million plus franchise. Then of course you have Zelda. You have Smash Bros as well, with sell really well because Zelda, every game is not really sell 10 million copies. Every main Zelda game is not sell 10 million copies. Breath of the Wild sold 20 million, but most Zelda games typically do not sell 10 million copies. Zelda is not as big as Pokemon, Mario, and Animal Crossing. But people always say, but no, but Splatoon isn't as big as you say it. You say it is, okay? It sold 3.5 million copies. Yep, it sold 3.45 million copies. Okay, 3.45 million copies in 1 week. In 1 week, the game has sold 3.5 million copies, basically. Okay, I didn't get Splatoon 2 and 3 because I don't want to pay for Nintendo Switch Online, and also I'm not paying for Nintendo Switch Online at this current moment. So I'm not getting Splatoon 3. I might get Splatoon later if I ever buy Nintendo Switch Online. But yeah, Splatoon 3 has sold extremely well. Better than Pokemon and better than Animal Crossing in Japan. Okay? That's how well Splatoon is doing worldwide. Okay? Splatoon is outselling most Sony exclusives on its first week in Japan. I think it outsold every PS4 game. Not combined, of course. But every PS4 game's sales, Final Fantasy 15, Kingdom Hearts 3, and Final Fantasy 7 Remake. It outsold all three of those games. It also outsold Monster Hunter World as well, which is, I think, the best selling, game in Japan. Dragon Quest as well. I think those are the best selling games on PS4 in Japan, but they got outsold by Splatoon 3. Okay, Splatoon 3 sold more copies. 3.45 million copies in 3 days. Actually, that's 3 days. That's a really impressive 3 days. Of course, it includes digital sales as well, but a lot of those is probably physical copies being sold. There's a lot of people who really like this franchise, and I think this franchise is going to be one of Nintendo's biggest franchises in the world. I think there's no really point of having a Nintendo Big 3 anymore. Okay, Nintendo has more than just Big 3 franchises. Okay, Nintendo has the Smash Bros. Franchise. Nintendo has the Splatoon franchise. Nintendo has the Zelda, Mario, Pokemon, and Animal Crossing franchises. Whereas I think there's really just a big 6 now. Okay, because Smash Bros. Is always gonna be one of the best selling games on every Nintendo console. Okay, that's how it is with every Nintendo console. Splatoon 2 sold a lot of copies, and now Splatoon 3 is selling so well. Okay, this is why people are like, why do you need a Switch Pro? I just don't get the Switch Pro war supporters. People who think that this Nintendo's gonna make this new console. No, the Switch is still selling. The Switch is still selling millions of consoles. Games on the Switch are still selling millions. Okay, millions of copies. Okay. Okay. You know, franchises are making record sales. Okay. Record sales. Okay, record sales for for Splatoon. Okay, and yeah, Splatoon, you know, and people like, yeah, Nintendo's the only genre that Nintendo hasn't really tackled. I know it's not. I know Splatoon's not first person too. I played the first game on the Wii U, but Splatoon is the only shooter game on Nintendo consoles. Multiplayer FPS, those shooter games. Splatoon's the third person shooter. I think Splatoon 3 is still third person. I don't know if we can play in first person, but yeah, people care more about Splatoon 3 than people think. People like really to make it Splatoon 3 already, but no, yeah, it's gonna sell 10 million copies, and it's already. Well, people care more about the series than you really think. People buy this. People like this series more than you think, and this was a game series that launched on Nintendo's failed console called the Wii U. Okay, best-selling Switch games as well. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sold 46 million copies, but Splatoon 2 sold 14.40 million copies, which is not as great as probably Splatoon 3 is gonna sell. Okay. Yeah. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Cyan Pearl sold 14.79 million copies, but Splatoon, as a game series, is growing. It's not shrinking. Okay, it's selling way more than Splatoon 2. But Splatoon 2 came out at the beginning of the Switch. It's its lifetime. Okay. And they stopped updating Splatoon 2's sales. Okay. They stopped updating Splatoon 2's sales along with Mario Bros. U Deluxe. And Resident Arceus, apparently, they stopped updating Resident Arceus' sales. That's really dumb. They sort of updated Resident Arceus' sales, but yeah. Resident Arceus sold 12 million copies. The game sold way more copies than that people thought it would do. I thought it would sell like 5 to 6 million copies because it was different than the other Pokemon games. But Pokemon's fandom is apparently so large that it sold 12 million copies. I think the Switch has more 10 million sellers than the Wii, the DS, and the PS4 as well, and of course the 3DS as well. Okay, the Switch has more 10 million sellers than the PS4. Okay. Of course, 3D stopped updating sales for the PS4, but I think the Switch now has more 10 million sellers, basically, as well. Of course, if we could buy Bowser's Fury and then update the sales for that game as well. I think Bowser's Fury probably sold 10 million copies as well. Which means there's 10 million sellers. Splatoon 3, and of course, Pokemon are going to sell 10 million copies easily. Okay? And of course, let's not forget about the Mario Party Superstars. They haven't updated that game sales, but Mario Party Superstars is selling really well as well. Nintendo. I think that game's gonna sell 10 million copies at the end of the day, at the end of the Switch's lifetime. Now the Super and Ultimate Ninja Storm Jersey sold 1.26 million copies. That game sold a million copies. Metroid Dread is like the best selling Metroid game in all of history, which is pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive for Metroid. Origami King never even updated the game sales for this year. Origami King probably will not pass Super Paper Mario in terms of sales, but it'll come close. I think it'll come close at the end as well. So yep, that's basically about the Nintendo Switch sales. Again, Nintendo does not update their sales a lot, but yeah, that's basically about this video. Goodbye.